Dear auto selling professionals, it's great that once again we can meet in this weekly bulletin. Before saying another word, may I introduce myself as Madam Sophia, the virtual assistant to CTM Joseph NG, your sales and marketing e-coach and e-mentor. Here is good news for you and the car industry. Good news? Demand for vehicles expected to rise. Kuala Lumpur, the gradual reopening of economy is expected to spur vehicle sales for the remainder of 2021. Kenanga Research in a report yesterday, the local car companies will also be ramping promotional campaigns to boost sales. With the reopening of economic activities including sales and production for motor vehicles starting August 13, we expect buoyant recovery in car sales, especially with the growing number of backlogged booking for the popular models, as well as the usual year-end promotional campaigns. Nevertheless, the recovery in car production could be limited by the ongoing global strain in semiconductor chip supply for certain models. The research house added that it is keeping 2021 total industry volume (TTV) target at 46,000 units, tracking behind the Malaysian Automotive Association's MAA 2021 TIV target of 500,000 units. We expect a stronger recovery next year with our 2022 TIV target at 600,000 units, closely in line with MAA's TIV target of 600,000 units. Kenanga Research said its 2022 TIV growth yet will be driven by the expected recovery, the economy post-lockdown and herd immunity already being achieved. The research house added that sales next AR will also be spurred by the relaxation of standard operating procedures toward revitalizing local travel. This, Kenanga Research said, should push demand for passenger vehicles, especially the affordable national markets, as the supply of semiconductor chips recover. Additionally, a few automakers have assured their commitments to absorb the sales and service tax beyond December 2021, said the research house. The COVID-19 pandemic saw a surge in demand for personal electronic items such as cell phones and laptops, which eventually led a shortage of chips worldwide, as production could not keep up with demand. Some cars need more than 3,000 chips per vehicle. If one of the chips is unavailable, the production of that vehicle cannot be completed. Additionally, due to the impact of the pandemic on local car makers, the government announced a vehicle sales tax exemption in INE last year under the Short-Term Economic Recovery Plan or PENJANA. Under the exemption, locally assembled cars are fully exempted from the sales tax, while for imported cars, the sales tax has been reduced from 10% to 5%. The tax holiday was initially supposed to last until the end of last year. However, it was extended to June 30, 2021, and then again until the end of the year. The multiple extensions were mainly due to the repeated lockdowns over the past year and a half, which disrupted business operations and prevented car buyers from being able to fully enjoy the benefits of the tax holiday. Due to the multiple disruptions, some industry observers believe that the sales tax exemption might get extended again. According to the latest MMA statistics, TIV plunged to 17,500 units last month, compared with 53,838 units in the previous corresponding period, as operations were disrupted by the nationwide lockdown. Year-to-date August, total vehicle sales stood at 273,757 units, compared with 286,26 units in the previous corresponding period. End of breaking news. By the way, are you happy with this news? If you ask me, it is a definite yes. My take in this message is that there has been a vacuum in the car business. It's matter of time. When the situation improve, the sales of cars and van will fill the gap and it will spurs more sales. Agree or not? Just before I leave you, may I introduce my colleague Madam Florence, another virtual assistant to CTM Joseph? She will present the final part of this bulletin for you. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Madam Sophia, for allowing me to finish the final part of this week's bulletin. If you still remember, my name is Madam Florence, another virtual assistant to CTM Joseph NG. Without delay, here is a free chapter for you by CTM Joseph NG, the author of the book, How to Close Every Sales and Every Time. Ready? You bet. Chapter 9, The Puppy Dog Close. Quote, allowing the prospect to test your product or service for a few days means that you trust him or her, by Charles R. Whitlock in his book, Secrets of Successful Selling. Trust me, if your product is one that can be used in the following manner, here is an excellent tactic for closing the sale. By the way, do you know how to dispose a puppy dog that you don't want? The answer: you let someone keep it over a weekend. Or let some child or young person or even an adult keep it. You can't get it back. Products are sold this way. Now, not all products can be sold by putting them in the hands of the user before the decision to buy is made. But some products can. Don't believe? Then read on. Listen. During the course previous my sales training workshop, I came to know of a dynamic sales trainee who sells expensive cars. This salesperson spends his weekends at his lake house. His last day at work before the weekend, he takes his lists of prospective. He then numbers these prospects in the order of the quality of prospective based on those who will mostly likely buy the soonest. He starts from the top of the list. He then calls prospects. Normally when he calls the prospect on the phone, he always says something like this. My wife and I are going to the lake this weekend. There has been a lot of vandalism in my neighborhood recently. I just can't feel comfortable being away from the house for the weekend with my expensive German car sitting on the driveway unattended. Would you mind too much if I just park on your driveway and leave it for the weekend, and I will pick it up first thing on Monday morning? With this, now he starts to make phone calls like this until he finds someone that says, yes, it's all right, you can park it in my driveway. We will watch it for you over the weekend. Then he delivers the car to the prospect's house and off hen goes to the lake resort for the weekend. Monday morning, he is back to work to pick up the car at the prospect's house. Now what happens? You ask. Remember again, this person the salesman calls is a prospect for this expensive car. I'm not talking about the salesman calling someone at midnight and ask him, may I park on your driveway? Instead, he calls only good prospective buyers. Picture this. All weekend this expensive car was parked at the prospect's driveway. The neighbors had all seen it. Perhaps few of his friends and relatives have dropped by. Maybe they have seen it sitting there, and what is he going to tell them next week? Will he send it back? Probably not. This trainee's friend of mine related and confirmed with me of this event. The next door neighbor to the prospects made no inquiry until Sunday evening, before saying anything to his prospective buyer about the expensive car on the driveway. However, at night just as they met on the lawn, the next door neighbor asked him, did you buy that? The prospect said, no, I did not buy that, but my salesman friend did, he just didn't sign the papers yet. Of course, every such attempt at this didn't result in a sale. But sometimes it does work. Trust me. Furthermore, the puppy dog, close or let them experience the product method would get the commitment many times when nothing will. Maybe you would like to stop reading and see if you can create many ways that you can use the puppy dog close. In the near future, when closing any sales, why don't you let the prospect experience the product method in your closing? Meanwhile, stop reading now and write them down. Incidentally, a word of caution must be said. It takes nerve to use the puppy dog, and your willingness to be different. You have my assurance it does work if you try hard enough. That said, let's review this chapter with a summary. Shall we? Summary. To recap this chapter, it is good to repeat the salient points. Alright. It must be remembered that this sales closing method is better known as puppy dog close. It requires the salesperson to leave the product he is selling in the hands of a prospective buyer at least for some time. In this chapter, the puppy dog close is executed by the salesman by allow the prospective buyer to park the car in the prospect's driveway. It is done for the purpose that when friends, neighbors and relatives sees the car in the driveway, it could hasten the prospect to buy it. This method require the sales to have as many ways to find excuses to get the products to at least keep it for a while. Conclusion. Believe me, the puppy dog close is indeed another great way to close any sales. In truth, it works because it apply psychology on the prospect mind by inflating his pride and ownership of the product being sold. Although it is difficult to apply, yet it is workable. You ask, really? To tell you the truth and nothing but the truth, it really does work. I myself have tried it many times, and most of the time it helped me to close sales, especially big ticket items. In reality, you must try it for yourself, such a method of closing. And you will come back to say it's a great way to close. End of Chapter 9. I hope you have gained some extra knowledge by viewing this chapter. Should want to get this book, please contact CTM Joseph NG at 012-3878-592 or email him at josephsing@gmail.com. Alright. Before leaving you, may we, Madam Sophia, Joseph and myself wish you goodbye and happy selling.